when I inspected the backhoe before I bought it, the steering wheel was loose. It just tilt up and down without any resistance. So I know there's something broke in the tilt function. This part over here was hanging like this, and it was hitting the brake pedals. So I thought this is part of the tilt, but I really wasn't sure until I bought the tractor and I took all the plastic off over here. And what I found out, that this over here was part of this cylinder, and it snapped off because this pin is seized. It's rusted and it's seized. It doesn't do anything. So I took the steering column completely off. It was a little bit hard because there is some connection, and there was some button for light and whatever, and it only held by 4 bolts that go to the steering valve. So, but it came off easy after I took those off. This one over here, I just took these bolts off. They go inside here and they hinge, and it came off. As you see, the piston itself is broke. It doesn't do anything. It's seized. So I went to the dealer to buy other stuff for the tractor, and they want $250 for just the piston. And I took the part number and I looked online for that part number, and the cheapest I found was about $130 something, and that's still too high for this function. I'm not the type of guy that use the tilt even on my truck. I just keep it on one location and leave it alone. So what I thought of doing, I thought to build something similar, just like bushing type cylinder, and then shaft to go inside with similar thing here at both ends, to without this handle, of course, to be attached to the wheel. And then when I install it, I adjust it to where I like it, and then I just tied the set screw to keep it in place. However, I changed my search word and I typed tilt cylinder for 310D, and I found this on eBay. I wasn't sure if it's gonna fit or not, because 310D, they made several models of it, and I found out that the hydraulic cylinders and other parts, they don't exchange. So what I'm gonna do is just take this off, throw it away, and then install this and make a new pin to go back here with one button end to stop, and then put E-clip on the end and make 2 bushing to go over here to keep the piston in the center so it doesn't move side to side. It should be an easy project, and I should finish it very quickly. I had to cut this part over here on both ends and heat it because it's seized. I think they used Loctite a thread locker or something to keep this pin in place, because I can't find any other method. It was seized real good. I think they may use a thread locker or something to keep this pin in place. Panda, go away. Panda, go away, it's hot. I cut this off. I tried to fight the pins. They didn't want to move or spin or anything. So I cut the ends, and then I spray them with some WD-40. They didn't do anything either. So I heated it. I heated this part and this part, and I was able to pull them off by applying some leverage like this on both parts, and they came off. I think they use the thread locker to keep the pin in place, because there is no other mechanical mean to keep the pin from falling off. And I believe it used to hinge on this part, and when this part thrusted and seized, it snapped off, because the way the steering column tilt, both ends, they need to be able to hinge little bit or move little bit. So when this pin seized, that caused it to break. I'm ready to cut for the E-clip. I'm gonna part off this long piece over here. I don't need it. This is a steel, and I parted at 890 RPM. It's half inch. I removed the rust, cleaned and painted this steering column. When I bought the backhoe, it used to be free. The steering wheel will tilt up and down freely. And I discovered when I took it all apart that the piston broke. And actually this piston was hanging down and it was hitting the brake pedal. The part over here got seized in the pin and snapped off, so it didn't do its job. I went to the dealer to buy some parts, and everything, by the way, is very expensive for this old machinery. They wanted $250 for this tilt piston. However, I bought it online. I bought it off eBay for about $60 shipped. When they told me $250, and this is probably a good idea for somebody out there who can't find the proper part for any tilt situation like this, what I thought of doing, I thought to just get pipe and have a shaft that fit inside the pipe and have a set screw attached here. Of course, make the attachment to go on the steering column, and then adjust it to your liking, and then just tight the set screw so the steering wheel will be fixed. It won't tilt up and down. Of course, it's not going to be like this. I couldn't just welded it or just ran a flat piece over here and lock it in place, because I have to have it moving up and down while I bolt it back in place, because I won't be able to reach it if it's fixed in one position. You have to drop it all the way and pick it all the way to mount these bolts. I reused the original part over here. I just had to clean it and lubricate it, and it's working perfectly. I did make a new pin to fit over here, and I made 2 spacer bushings so the cylinder will stay in the center, and I'm ready to assemble it. The handle go the same side as the forward and reverse shifter. If somebody out there want to buy used machine like this, my suggestion is to get you a mill and a lathe and a welder and learn how to use them, because they will save you a lot of money. I use this machinery to fix pins, shaft on my bulldozer, my tractor, this backhoe. I mean, I made all these pins, and they already paid for what I paid for the mill and the lathe. Because if you're gonna buy already made part, and something like this, really, it's not, you know, rocket science, making pins and stuff like this. But if you go buy them from the dealer, they want to charge you a lot of money, which it doesn't make sense to buy used machine to begin with. I opened this valve and I compressed it down. This bolt head will act as a hinging point over here on the column itself. The bolt will go like this, and it will attach to this, so it will allow it to hinge just a little bit.
and this is how it works.
Before, if I press him, which didn't go, you have to fight it to hit the brake. You have to have it to brake before you be able to drive it, but now it's free. The old cylinder, tilt cylinder, it was hitting right here. It was landed right here. It's actually left a mark over there. It's been broke for a long time. This is the hydraulic cylinder. It leaks on the top of the hood. It will fire right up.